So in this question, we're going to be looking for the angle x in the triangle below, and we're going to be looking for it in degrees. And so if we take a look at the triangle here, we can see that we've got this unknown angle x in the bottom right, and then we've got these two lengths in the triangle. So we're first of all going to be figuring out which one of our identities to use. And so as always in these videos, I always basically go back to SOHCAHTOA, which is a word you can use to basically remember your trig identities. So for sine is going to be the opposite over the hypotenuse, cos is going to be the adjacent over the hypotenuse, and tan is going to be the opposite over the adjacent. And so our job now is going to be to figure out which two sides we are using in this question. And so we can see that if we look across from the angle, so I always kind of look across first, we can see that the side opposite the angle is actually an unknown side, or an unknown length at the moment. And so rather than trying to find that, we're just going to stick to the two sides we have, which in this case is going to be the hypotenuse, which is the longest side, which is always going to be opposite your right angle. So that's our longest side, and the hypotenuse is going to be 10. And then our adjacent side, which is kind of the third side, which is not the opposite and not the hypotenuse. I think it's always easiest to remember it as kind of the last side in the triangle. It is going to be kind of beside the angle or adjacent to the angle, and it is going to be 7. So we can actually use that in cos in this case, because we have the adjacent and the hypotenuse. And so what we can do now is actually set up an equation. So we have cos of x being the unknown of course, the angle we're trying to find, and that is going to be equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So the adjacent, as we said, is going to be 7. And the hypotenuse, the longest side, is going to be 10. And so now we can actually rearrange this by basically bringing our cos over to the right hand side. So you can see we started off with cos x on the left hand side, and now we have x on the left hand side. And so what you can actually think of this like is basically multiplying, or I suppose applying the cos inverse function to both sides. So if you have cos inverse of a cos, it just becomes x, just the angle, and then cos inverse of 7 over 10 we can see is what's left here on the right hand side. And so our goal is of course just to get the angle on its own on the left hand side and then a number on the right hand side. So now we just need to plug this in the calculator to find the value of the angle x. And when you do that, you're going to get a value of 45.57 degrees. So that's going to be, once again in degrees, just as it's stated in the question. So that is going to be our final answer, and that's going to be it for this video.